Hello everyone and welcome back to the next video in our Blyton test day series. Now the next video is on brake testing. So again, we had one driver, Neil, to avoid any discrepancies, and we had all three vans doing a brake test down the main straight at Blyton at normal road speeds and some a bit over normal road speeds. And we got Neil to tell us how each van fared and how it felt absolutely standing on that big brake kit. So on to the next part of our day at Blyton. We've moved a little bit further down the straight. As you can see, we've got some cones, some flags set up, and this marks the starting point for the brake test. We've got cones all the way down the side, spaced out at a van's length each. So we're going to see how each van gets on with its brake setup. What we've got behind us is we've got a standard LV van as it comes out of the box from Leighton vans. We've got the standard brakes on there, and we've also got the LV demo van, which has the same engine, same horsepower, same gearbox as the blue van, but we've got the EBC big brake kit on there as well. Something to mention on the Ascot Grey one is we've got a steel pod in the back, which on its own, completely empty, weighs 150 kilos. There is stuff in that steel pod. We've packed some weight in it, so we're probably looking around the 200 kilos mark, which if you take that as a full family's worth of weight in a vehicle. And that one is completely bare bones, empty, 200 kg less weight. So at the minute, that one's sat at around 2.2 tonne, that one is sat at around the 2.4 mark. What we want to get from this brake test is we want to see the Ascot Grey demo van stopping in the same distance as the empty blue van with the standard brake setup on. So now we're going to get our tame racing drivers into the vans, down the straight. We're going to do about the sort of 80 mile an hour mark. We're going to jump on the brakes as we come through the flags, and fingers crossed my van stops in the same distance as the blue one. So Neil's in the standard van, 204 standard brakes, 85 mile an hour, and through the flags, hit the brakes. That front end dives, and there we go, to a stop. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that was about 14 van lengths, 85 mile an hour. Got a standard van, standard LV van should I say. Same speed, same van, same brakes, just bigger wheels and tyres. Gonna come through the flags, hit the brakes. Near is making a difference, a couple of foot shorter, which might be, Neil will confirm with me, that might be to do with the bigger surface area of the tyres maybe. So here we are, we've got Neil coming down the straight in the LV demo van, obviously with the EBC big brake kit on the front and that extra 200 kg. There we go, and we are definitely a couple of foot shorter there compared to the standard van, which is what we expected from the extra weight as well out of the steel pod.
Miles an hour to 0, and that's done it in 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 van lengths. When you consider the extra weight, those brakes have worked well there.
We've got Neil and Rob side by side. We've got the LV demo van with the EBC big brake kit. We've got a standard LV van with standard brakes. We're side by side. They're going to hit the flags, stand on the brakes. Oh, exactly the same. So gents, that was 80 mile an hour, hard on the brakes. I mean, that's near as making a difference level. Are we happy with that?
That was not easy to do, was it?
Well,
that was run out of length.
That was the difficult bit. The difficult bit was getting the timing so that both vans are level to get an accurate thing. But was it fun? Worse place to spend your day than brake testing vans, isn't there?
Yes, that was 80 miles an hour, and we're just starting to perform better with your brakes. So we did a 70 a little bit earlier, and on the 70, this van overshot. And you know what? That's what I'd expect to see. The big brake kit's not going to do everything at low speeds because they're actually tyre limited. Where the big brake kit kicks in and does its thing is when the speeds are up, and we need to apply much stronger braking force to the brakes to get the tyres slowing enough. And so that's where this really kicks in. So I did a couple of test runs before, and taking the van up to 85 miles an hour, that's where this one really does start to put about half a van length extra, because those extra speeds where that really starts to work.
That's it.
At the lower stuff, things are pretty even, or in some cases this van was going longer, and I was like, well, that's not what we want to see, because obviously the big brake kit should do better. Well, we've got extra weight in the van, haven't we? And if we're tyre limited, it's the tyre limiting it, and the weight's trying to push through. Ultimately, it should stop slower. It should go longer at those lower speeds.
Well, and you mentioned tyres. Tyres is a huge issue. That the vans are not on the same tyre as each other either. So that's already a slight factor that's going to make a difference. And the tyre on the van you were in is actually a rain sport tyre. So although a good competent tyre, it's there's an emphasis towards wet weather. So it'd be interesting to see if it wasn't a dry day, how that might make a difference. So,
the Conti Sport tyre is the other range. Obviously, it would be nice to get that one a little bit more grip. Put them both on the same tyre where this brake can work it a bit harder. I think we'll start to see again bigger gains in those higher speed ranges. So we've done the speeds at what, 50, 70, and 85, because 50 and 70 those are proper road speeds. You know, the van, it's limited to 50 speed limit on the single carriageways. It's 70 miles an hour on the motorway. 85's that sort of, well, there are drivers that do it, of course, but out on the motorway in France, for example, it's that sort of 130k range. So it's all real world testing we've done today. The surface here is a very good surface, like a French motorway, so it's really quite relevant. So to have been a little bit behind on the slower stuff and a little bit ahead on the really high speed stuff, I think I'm impressed with the brakes, what they've done. Impressed with both fans, really.
And the weight difference is huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mega. Well, I think we'll be coming back with some Conti Sport 7s stuck on the vans and doing a bit more, I think, after today.
Well, and balancing the weight, evening the weight, evening the tyre wear, that's where I think we're going to see changes.
Yeah, and I'd like to see the EBC yellows in the back as well, because I think on your van being that little bit lower, the rear brake can do a bit more work, and that's going to help us. So if we're looking to really get to the ultimate braking kit, we need to be focusing a little bit more on the rear of the van as well.
I best pick up the phone to EBC and Continental ready for
Absolutely,
the next one.
let's get them up here. We'll do a little test.
Mega.